So if we were to take a look at a driver-based model that is responsible for allocating revenue and volume in this case on a monthly basis, we can see what those models look like. And everything you'll see here is entirely configurable by the administrative team when they deploy these models. So if we take a look at this bottom-up model here, again, this is a model that we'll typically refer to as the modified fair share model. And the way this works is that we see along the rows here the listing of territories to which we're going to allocate quotas. This is directly tied to the territory models that I had just described earlier. And those definitions are translating into data points and KPIs and insights that we can serve as reference data points to the planning process, right? So whether it's historical revenue that we're reporting on, whether it's forecasts that we're reporting on, or other firmographics related attributes and details related to the markets, we can, in a configurable way, make them accessible in the models to help influence some of the strategic decisioning that operations teams or sales leaders might make on deploying the quotas to their territories. The other aspect of this model is around baselining quotas. So we have a $74 million target. How do we distribute those quotas as a baseline to these individual territories based off of some driver, some metric driver? That driver could be the weighting of historical performance. It could be based off of the weighting of your forecast or some other forward-looking metric. But at the end of the day, we create a baseline of our quotas in this particular model. And then we configure certain market drivers that help influence whether we add or contract revenue, quota to a particular territory. And these are all configurable. The weights of the driver selections are also configurable as well. In this particular case, the way we think about revenue is understanding these 5 drivers, one around market potential, how much opportunity exists within that market. And that's where we could tie it back to things like the demand plan and the demand forecast and really get an understanding of what the opportunity exists based off certain indicators that we analyze. What about historical sales? If we have visibility into whether or not we're seeing positive trends or negative trends in sales, and do we expect that those trends to persist in the following years to come? As a means to indicate how this territory will perform. What does the competitive landscape look like in that market? Or what kind of support are we going to get from the marketing department to drive campaigns in specific areas and drive demand and opportunity in those areas? Or we might want to look at market saturation as another lever that we explore as well. All of these selections that you make in the planning process increase or decrease the baseline quota to the point where we ultimately arrive at a final quota, which you can see over here. Now, of course, we can make discretionary manual adjustments on those quotas, and we can also offer comments to kind of justify some of those changes.